Hey guys, welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about why social media affects your social life. Which is actually pretty ironic considering that it's called social media. That they try to convince you that this will help your social skills and get you active in the community, which in some cases is true, like in the art community, but there's a lot of issues with social media that I think you guys should check out. So first of all, I see a lot of people just have like a lot of followers, likes, comments, this retweets, this and that, and a lot of times they don't even post for themselves. Like so they we always post for others. We're always trying to like have enough likes to fill our self-esteem, which is not going to help. You need to love yourself in order to be a healthy individual in this world. If you're always looking for others' approval on, I posted this today, and if it doesn't get enough likes, I'm going to delete it. That kind of way of thinking really lowers your self-esteem. So a lot of times I see in social media, like there's always like these models and this and that, and they have perfect face, perfect body, this and that, and it's like I just look at it and I'm just like thinking like, what is this gonna do? This is not gonna help anyone. This is only making it so that people feel worse about themselves if they don't have that kind of body type, or if they don't look pretty, or if they don't do this, do that, and this and that. And then it really lowers your self-esteem, because now you think you have to look like that. And a lot of these models on Instagram, they have a lot of surgery. They get implants, breast implants, and this and that. And I could talk about breast implant illness in another video too, because that's a serious issue. But anyways, they kind of have these alterations, artificial alterations to their body, which makes it seem like they look perfect, but they're really not. And there is no ideal perfect person. It's just that in our Western culture, this is how we see the perfect body or the perfect person. We see them as nice small nose, square jaw, this and that. There's different definitions of beauty in different cultures, different times. In the Greek times, they would do statues of someone you know with a nice body, this and that. In Mesoamerican culture, they would actually have small statues, which was the ideal version of beauty. So beauty is subjective. I don't know why everyone just thinks that if they don't look like Angelina Jolie, if they don't look like this person, if they don't look like this Instagram model, then they're ugly and they're not perfect. It's like we don't have to be perfect. Even if you have one eye, glass eye, even if you have, even if some people I've seen that from birth they're missing a part of their skull, but that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We just think that any imperfection is just that we're born wrong. It's crazy to think about that. I don't know. Like I feel like people, like us as a species, we're just lost. We're so lost to the point where we're so worried about how we physically look all the time. How we physically look. What about mentally? You could be a person in a wheelchair, but you have a lot. I've seen people, um, they put documentaries and videos about them on the internet. They have no arms, no legs, yet the guy swims and he goes about his life, and he's one of the he's one of the happiest people on earth. So how does he do that? It does not have to do with the physical aspects of life. Physical is important, yes, because we need to take care of our physical health, and we need to work out and this and that. Right now I can't go to gym because I'm in quarantine and it's pretty hard to exercise at home. But anyways, yeah, physical is important, but so is mental and so is spiritual. Nobody cares about that. Or I mean, not that they don't care, it's just that they're not really worried about it. Everyone's so worried about the small things. And that's an issue because, whenever I'm not really on social media too much anymore. I have an art account, but I've never posted pictures of myself because I don't see the point. I don't know, like, for example, if someone posts a picture of themselves every day, I see people do this. People really post pictures of themselves every day and put a song and they tilt their face a little to make it different. I don't know how that helps them or us or what that's supposed to do. I feel like that all that does is just lower the person's self-esteem because in order to get that perfect photo, they had to retake that same photo like 20 times, and then when someone sees that photo, they're gonna think, wow, this person looks good, after they took like 20 times to take that picture, and now they feel bad about themselves, and it's just a mess. What I feel like, if you should be using social media as a tool, us as spiritual people, we gotta be updated. If it's fine if you live in a cave in a mountain, you don't need to be updated on any of this stuff. It's actually better. But since we live in a civilian life, or in the city, we have to stay updated with what's going on in the world. But that doesn't mean you should be watching news and news and news. No, you use social media as a tool in order to help you see what's going on, and you use your own judgment to see if you think that's true or not, because a lot of what they put in the media is not true, or exaggerated, or just fake, or so don't always trust what you see on social media. A lot of times, I think I'm going a bit off topic. Okay, let's go back on topic. So social media really does destroy your self-esteem. It boosts your ego because, and that sounds weird, right? You're probably like, why does it boost your ego? What does that have to do with anything? Well, it has a lot to do with it. Every time you get likes and comments and this and that, and it makes you feel better about yourself because you don't know how to love yourself, right? That's why everyone's on social media constantly. I actually was never really much of a social media person, but I recently kind of got into it. And I used to be like kind of looking at how many likes I had. And then now looking back, I'm like, why did I do that? Because in order to love yourself and appreciate yourself, you gotta not look for others' approval all the time. Now, others' approval is good because, sometimes you can ask, should I do this? Should I do that? Maybe you can get advice from people, but that doesn't mean your whole existence should depend on others' approval. That's called codependency, and codependency is a serious issue. A lot of us have codependency, whether we realize it or not. Codependency is not just about toxic relationships or this and that, like with the spouse or something. It can also be with friends. It could be with social media. It could be with neighbors. It could be just overly dependent on something, right? So I can actually talk about codependency in another video because that's actually a pretty rough topic, and it's kind of hard to deal with for a lot of people. I think I've always been naturally more of an alone person, and I didn't know why before. Now I know, because I'm not here to just mess around and hang out every weekend and this and that. I'm here to be spiritual. So guys, be careful when you're on social media. Don't expect 30 likes. Don't even look at your likes anytime you post. I just try not to post anymore. Just stay off social media, because it physically, mentally, spiritually, it just drains your energy. I have myself looking at social media, but when I'm on social media, I mostly just look at I update myself with kind of like news, but I don't know how to explain it, because news is like, you got to be careful with what news you watch. I just only watch news the things that I have to watch, just to know, like, for example, if you live in Texas and there's a tornado coming, well, you would have to watch the news to know that there's a tornado coming. You don't always have to watch the news to all the time to update yourself on the unimportant things. And yeah, so social media. Why am I talking about the news? Well, because Twitter, for example, is like a news site, and social media only gives you what they want you to see, not the reality. A lot of times in social media, people are dancing, they're smiling, this and that. It depends. If it's a more like a spiritual dance, and they feel, you really feel their energy, then yeah. But more often than not, they just do dances that everyone else does because, again, they seek approval from others, and then others want to do that dance themselves. So these are trends are pretty dangerous because um it kind of like makes you just do what everyone else is doing without just doing your own thing. I don't know if that makes sense. Instead of just living life, do what you need to do, meditate, work on your energy, this and that. um People are just distracted, and it's concerning. It's pretty concerning. So guys, uh here's my advice: don't just try not to be on social media so often, unless unless you're just, once in a while, social media, just, maybe someone sends you a message, ask you something. But, just guys, try not to be on social media too much. It really physically, mentally, spiritually just destroys your soul. We're not supposed to be on these things all the time, 24/7. It really just rots your brain. Not because of the radio waves, that too, but mostly because of just the amounts of of bad energy that's being passed on to you. So, just be careful with social media.